Thank you for having me here. What an exciting day. My first question to you is, how many of you are Star Trek fans? Awesome. Everything in life can be boiled down to some episode in Star Trek because it is an amazing show with situational leadership thrown in every single situation, right? So there's one scene where Captain Kirk is lying. It's present day world. He's come back from way, way beyond, and he's injured. And the doctor has a scalpel in his hand, and he's trying to do something. Just then McCoy steps in and he says, "Are you a butcher?" Right? And he takes out his thing, and he's personalizing the care down to Captain Kirk to really figure out what's going on with the neurons, with the molecules, with who he is, and then treating him. And the doctor, with looking at his scalpel, is shocked. He's seeing this as a butcher is someone with an axe or a big knife, right? So similarly, I can't imagine Captain Kirk going today to a doctor's office looking for an appointment, waiting his time, 15 minutes. In that, the doctor orders some tests. 2 weeks out, he gets the results. He doesn't know really how he has done. Imagine that. So healthcare today is in the dark ages, really, really in the dark ages. With the transformative power of technology, we have transformed industry after industry. Look at what happened in music, in financial services. Healthcare needs to do the same. IT is not the enabler, it is the business. It is the way things are going to be done. And here, we have a huge opportunity. I am an optimist. I believe in this opportunity so much that I bet ourselves, our teams, and SAP's commitment to it, which is that we can personalize big data to really solve challenges of the modern age. Now, if you look at why big data has become so important, I don't need to teach to this crowd. You know this. It's not only the data that we've gathered so far from all the tests and MRIs and scans, but much more around genomics and proteomics. There was a recent article in the New York Times. Carl Zimmer wrote this article called DNA Double Take. I highly encourage you guys to look at that article. What it talks about, it fundamentally challenges our assumption that one human equal to one genome. In fact, did you know that mothers, when they give birth to their kids, are likely to transform and pass that genome back to the mother itself? And now humans are consisting of many genomes. Imagine the implications not only on research and healthcare, but also in investigations. Can you really pin down a victim or a crime on an individual when you're not really sure whose genome it is? So we have to get much more tuned with technology, really harness it to analyze all of this information. And just as somebody who has been operated with cataract, actually my grandmother just got operated with cataract, and she described it this way. It was like looking at the world with everything. So much more new information that I have now, I can see everywhere. Everyone is just like that at this point in time with so much data. The potential is simply humongous before us not to exploit it. So what are we doing at SAP? And we have a booth out here. Please come and visit us. We are focused on 2 use cases. The first one is focused around researchers. We know that if we sampled and if we got everyone's data, of course in a form factor that helps us to preserve privacy, this will be really, really helpful for scientists who are analyzing cohorts, insurance companies who are looking at large populations of data, to really make effective patterns. And if you look at technology today, a typical query or a data set analysis sometimes takes hours and days. What you really need to do is follow the speed of human thought. The idea that you can have one question and then ask another question, and then that leads you to another conclusion. The human DNA, the human genome, the human race has evolved through thousands and thousands of years using Darwinian principles. It's an iterative next step process. How can our analytics be one step? How can our analytics be report-driven? It has to be interactive. So how can you go rich and broad and text and unstructured and doctor's notes? be used to do complex analysis in real time without any delays. And that's what we are focused on. So our objective here is that everybody will get this kind of information really fast. Second thing is around clinicians. I described McCoy's predicament in Star Trek. We want to bring together genetic information across all variants within the window of opportunity for personalizing healthcare. And this is huge because it will ensure that much of healthcare which is wasted today in terms of drugs is going to be personalized and not wasted, and hence lots of efficiencies for the whole system, plus better care for the individual. Now, what is SAP doing? We are focused across the entire spectrum of providers, payers, researchers. Here are some examples. With Care Circles, we are providing an application for individuals and their families to organize care around things like autism, for example. With payers like AOK in Germany, we are looking at population data and evidence-based prescriptive and preventive medicine. With Charité and Medtronic, we are looking at minimizing and analyzing complaints and doing massive personalization of care for cancer patients. With Stanford and MKI, we have genomic research at this point in time where you can come to our booth and we can talk more about this. Now, here are some early results from our work. We are up to 600x faster than existing technology out there. And this is especially important for the area of genomics because we are doing entire sequencing, alignment, variant calling, and annotation analysis in dramatically faster times. And this is a huge area for us. And lastly, I want to end with this slide. It's not only about genomic data and putting a genomic model in our healthcare platform, which is HANA, but also bringing in EMR data, wearable data like Fitbit, for example, or Nike if you use that, and then bringing all this to the window of opportunity within a clinician's time or empowering individuals and patients with this kind of information. This is our vision of personalized healthcare. We want to partner with you. And lastly, one thing, our platform is open for startups, for developers to actually build. We have a genomic data model. So we invite all the innovators here. And as Brian said in his previous session, it's inspirational. We need to bring healthcare to the modern age. Thank you so much.